Hello and welcome. I'm Sean and it's a pleasure to be with you. In this video, I look at the astrology for the week starting Monday the 24th, and before we know it, December is here. I look at the major transits for the week and then look at each sign. Please also diarize the 26th of November. That's a fabulous trine day where the energy is just perfect. Use this energy, please. The week opens with Mercury conjunct Venus in Scorpio. On Monday, the 24th of November, Mercury, the planet of communication, makes a close embrace with Venus, the planet of love and value, both swimming in the deep intuitive waters of Scorpio. This is not a time for superficial pleasantries or small talk. It is an invitation to dive beneath the surface, to discuss the things that truly matter. Think of it as the universe giving you a key to a hidden room. Honest conversations can finally take place. Shared finances, deep emotional bonds, mutual trust. The air is charged with a desire for authenticity, perfect for addressing sensitive topics with courage and compassion. For me, it's a moment to look at the contracts in our lives, written and unwritten. As we move into the middle of the week, we have one of the best days in the year. Our beautiful Venus, still carrying echoes from Mercury, forms two supportive aspects. She sends a shimmering beam of light to Jupiter and forms a stable connection with Saturn. This is a truly special combination, like a wise financial advisor who encourages bold dreams while giving a practical step-by-step plan. Hope meets strategy. Imagine Venus as a creative artist painting with the colors of love, beauty, and abundance. Her trine to Jupiter adds vibrant hues of optimism and growth. Dream bigger, with a dose of luck. Think the wheel of fortune in the tarot. Your love can grow, your finances can expand, your joy can multiply. This is great energy for generosity, for seeing the bigger picture in relationships and having faith to attract abundance. There is also a lot of good luck in the air. Simultaneously, Venus's trine to Saturn provides the sturdy easel and the durable canvas. Realism, discipline, long-term planning. Commitments that last, built on a solid foundation. A big deal shift in energy occurs as we reach Thursday, the 27th of November. The great timekeeper, Saturn, concludes its long retrograde. Thank goodness, Saturn now stations direct in Pisces. The retrograde did give us a chance to review, revise, reflect our duties, our structures, our long-term goals, our spiritual lives, our compassion, our dreams. I accept this, but for me, this period felt slow, frustrating, like walking through mud. Projects stalled, discipline turned inward, dissolving old patterns. But now, the tide is turning. Saturn stations direct, like a great ancient ship turning its bow. The cosmic brakes are released. Forward momentum begins to build. Finally, permission to get going. Projects get the green light. Words flow. Our life structure makes sense. At least that's the idea. As the week draws to a close, the mood shifts from deep introspection and steady building to joyful exploration. On Sunday, the 30th of November, Venus, the planet of love, connection, and finance, leaves the intense waters of Scorpio and gallops into Sagittarius. The change in atmosphere is palpable. I promise you'll feel it. It's like throwing open the windows after a long, serious meeting. Venus in Sagittarius is less concerned with emotional depth and more interested in broadening horizons. The quest for love becomes a quest for a fellow adventurer. This shift infuses our relationships, our finances, our sense of pleasure with a desire for meaning, freedom, new experiences. We are drawn to people, places, and ideas that can teach us something, that can expand our worldview. This is the time to take a chance, to say yes to an invitation beyond your comfort zone. I did make a video on Sagittarius season, which I'll post below. Okay, so let's look at each sign for the week. Hi Aries. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 8th house of shared resources and intimacy. So this is a time to review joint finances or discuss trust issues with a partner, like checking a shared credit card statement together or deciding how to split holiday expenses. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 9th house and Saturn in the 12th house, which is good for agreements related to education, travel, or spiritual practices, such as booking a language course abroad or setting boundaries for a meditation retreat. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 12th house, signaling progress in matters of closure, healing, or long-term planning behind the scenes, which can include finishing paperwork for an inheritance or scheduling therapy sessions that were delayed. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 9th house, opening opportunities for learning, cultural exchange, and travel through relationships or financial decisions, like planning a group trip to a historical city or signing up for a cooking class focused on international cuisine. Hi Taurus. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 7th house of partnerships, so conversations about plans or money with others are important, such as reviewing a holiday budget with a spouse or deciding who will drive on a weekend trip. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 8th house and Saturn in the 11th house, linking shared money with group goals, which can look like joining a crowdfunding campaign for a friend's project or finalizing contributions for a charity event. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 11th house, bringing progress in community plans, like resuming a book club or confirming dates for a fundraising dinner. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 8th house, shifting focus to shared finances and deeper bonds, which can include booking a cooking class with a partner from a joint account or planning how to split costs for a trip. Hi Gemini. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 6th house of work and routines, so conversations about tasks or shared responsibilities are important, such as discussing project deadlines with a colleague or planning a grocery list with a roommate. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 7th house and Saturn in the 10th house, linking partnerships with career goals, which can look like agreeing to work together on a client pitch or planning for a joint business venture. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 10th house, bringing progress in professional plans, like finalizing a promotion process or confirming dates for a leadership training. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 7th house, shifting focus to relationships and agreements, which can include booking a weekend getaway with a partner or signing up for a couple's cooking class. Hi Cancer. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 5th house of creativity and romance, so conversations about fun projects or personal connections are important, like planning a family game night or discussing a holiday craft idea with a child. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 6th house and Saturn in the 9th house, linking daily routines with learning and structure, which can look like signing up for a fitness class with a friend or agreeing to study a new language together. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 9th house, bringing progress in education or travel plans, like confirming dates for a course or finalizing paperwork for an overseas trip. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 6th house, shifting focus to health and work relationships, which can include booking a yoga session with a colleague or organizing a shared meal plan with a partner. Hi Leo. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 4th house of home and family, so conversations about living arrangements or shared responsibilities are important, like planning a holiday meal with relatives or discussing repairs with a housemate. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 5th house and Saturn in the 8th house, linking creativity and shared resources, which can look like agreeing to fund a child's art project or planning a joint investment for a home upgrade. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 8th house, bringing progress in financial commitments, like finalizing a loan application or setting terms for a shared savings account. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 5th house, shifting focus to fun and creative expression, which can include booking tickets for a concert with friends or signing up for a dance class with a partner. Hi Virgo. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 3rd house of communication and learning, so conversations about schedules or shared ideas are important, like planning errands with a sister or discussing a group project with classmates. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 4th house and Saturn in the 7th house, linking home and partnerships, which can look like agreeing on household expenses with a partner or setting terms for a family gathering. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 7th house, bringing progress in relationship commitments, like finalizing a business contract or confirming plans for a joint venture. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 4th house, shifting focus to home and family activities, which can include booking a holiday meal with relatives or organizing a cozy movie night with friends. Hi Libra. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 2nd house of money and values, so conversations about spending or shared resources are important, like planning a holiday budget with a partner or discussing gift ideas with a friend. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 3rd house and Saturn in the 6th house, linking communication and daily routines, which can look like agreeing on carpool plans with a co-worker or setting up a shared calendar for errands. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 6th house, bringing progress in work or health commitments, like finalizing a project timeline or confirming dates for a medical checkup. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 3rd house, shifting focus to learning and short trips, which can include booking a weekend getaway with siblings or signing up for a local workshop with friends. Hi Scorpio. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 1st house of self and identity, so conversations about personal goals or appearance are important, such as updating a profile photo or discussing a new fitness plan with a friend. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 2nd house and Saturn in the 5th house, linking money and creativity, which can look like agreeing to fund a hobby project or planning a budget for holiday gifts. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 5th house, bringing progress in creative or romantic commitments, like finalizing dates for a performance or confirming plans for a family celebration. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 2nd house, shifting focus to finances and values, which can include booking a workshop that teaches new skills or organizing a savings plan for travel. Hey there Sagittarius, an early happy birthday. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 12th house of reflection and privacy, so conversations about personal plans or behind-the-scenes matters are important, like reviewing a budget quietly before sharing it, or discussing a private goal with a trusted friend. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 1st house and Saturn in the 4th house, linking self-expression and home life, which can look like agreeing to host a family gathering or planning a home improvement project that supports personal growth. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 4th house, bringing progress in family or property commitments, like finalizing a lease agreement or confirming dates for a home renovation. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 1st house, shifting focus to personal style and relationships, which can include booking a photo shoot for a new profile picture or planning a fun outing to celebrate a milestone. Hi Cap. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 11th house of friendships and group goals, so conversations about shared plans or contributions are important, such as organizing a holiday event with friends or discussing a team budget at work. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 12th house and Saturn in the 3rd house, linking private matters and communication, which can look like agreeing to keep a project confidential or planning a study schedule with a sibling. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 3rd house, bringing progress in learning or local commitments, like finalizing dates for a short course or confirming plans for a neighborhood meeting. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 12th house, shifting focus to reflection and private connections, which can include booking a quiet retreat or planning a one-on-one conversation with a trusted friend. Hi Aquarius. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 10th house of career and public life, so conversations about work goals or shared responsibilities are important, such as discussing a project timeline with a manager or planning a holiday schedule with your team. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 11th house and Saturn in the 2nd house, linking group goals and finances, which can look like agreeing on contributions for a team event or setting a budget for a community project. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 2nd house, bringing progress in financial commitments, like finalizing a savings plan or confirming payment terms for a service. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 11th house, shifting focus to friendships and group activities, which can include booking tickets for a social event or organizing a shared outing with friends. Hey there Pisces. Mercury conjunct Venus on Monday activates the 9th house of learning and travel, so conversations about education or future plans are important, such as discussing course options with a mentor or planning a holiday trip with friends. On Wednesday, Venus trines Jupiter in the 10th house and Saturn in the 1st house, linking career and personal responsibility, which can look like agreeing to take on a leadership role at work or setting boundaries for a professional project. On Thursday, Saturn turns direct in the 1st house, bringing progress in personal commitments, like finalizing a health routine or confirming plans for a self-improvement goal. On Sunday, Venus enters Sagittarius and moves into the 10th house, shifting focus to career and public life, which can include booking a networking event or planning a celebration for a professional achievement.